Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another gear review, and today talking about this guy right here, which is the Visor Tourniquet Carrier by V Development Group. What is it? What does it do? Shockingly enough, exactly what it sounds like. It is a tourniquet holder that fits on the visor of your vehicle, whether it's a sweet Brocoma or an awesome minivan, and it keeps a tourniquet, this right here being the RMT2 or RMT wide rather, and you have this little pocket up top where it'll handily fit anything shaped like that, whether it's a flashlight, pen light, something, or a Sharpie. And this being an older model I've had for the last couple of years, the new model actually has another little area which will actually hold like latex gloves. Pretty handy. So I'll show you basically how it works, how it goes on. Here inside the zen quiet of my minivan next to this river, show you how I put this on. You can of course put this on whatever way you want. Easiest way is basically not try and do it when your visor is actually up against there, so you can get access to the top of it, and you can position this pretty much wherever you want. Keeping in mind, generally you're going to end up covering up your little vanity mirror, bummer, but the way I usually will put it will be like this, more or less centered, and I'll wrap these around pretty tight. Put this guy on there. And keep in mind, you can slide this a little bit if you want to, but same thing with this guy here. Wrap that piece back around, and now it's on there. And as I mentioned, you can adjust this depending on how you want to. I usually like to keep it right like this, and I will show you why in a minute when it actually closes. Personally, I like it set up like this the best. You can, of course, move this entire thing around to, well, I'm not gonna do it, but to where basically it's sitting right here. One, I don't like it kind of in my field of view right there, and I'm driving a minivan. If someone looks at this, they think, well, probably inside there's some old stale goldfish, maybe empty juice box, versus some overland rig where they're like, I definitely want to steal things. So someone looking in here, seeing that, they're like, oh, there's probably other things I want in there. At least that's where my mind goes. So I'd rather just have it up here out of the way. And with it right here, you have access to that Sharpie in case you're driving a friend home that's passed out, you want to write on them. And then right here, of course, is the tourniquet, which you can access from the top without having to fold this thing all the way down. And if you do fold this all the way down, because maybe you drive somewhere where it's always sunny, this isn't going to just get blazed in the sun all the time, which not really good for most things. And to draw it out, keep in mind this will fit a number of tourniquets. The way I have this set up, while you could probably He-Man it and pull it that way, me being right-handed, I have it set up to where I can basically grab this, pull the tourniquet out, and get to work should I need it. As I mentioned, this right here is the RMT wide version, pretty much always on my person outside of wearing gym shorts. I have an RMT, usually carry this one, just it carries better for me, being a little bit smaller. With this elastic, you can fit this in. This obviously doesn't fit as tight, and with the way the elastic is made on this, as far as dimensionally, it'll of course fit like a cat tourniquet or something like that. And I'll mention it because I see them all the time at classes on med kits. Cat tourniquets still in the plastic. I would encourage you to take the plastic off, because if you need to use the tourniquet, you don't want that extra step of taking the plastic off. But this actually works really well with this RMT wide, and behind it, there's actually more elastic bands. So depending on how you want to do this, you can essentially run basically a full-blown med kit back here, in that you have this elastic band here and here. Do I want to do that? Personally, I don't. In part, it just starts to push that visor down more and more into my field of view, where frankly I don't want it, and I have other med kits to get to. If you look at like March, for example, massive hemorrhaging, the biggest thing we want to address is just that massive hemorrhaging, which you do with a tourniquet. So get to work with that if it's needed, and time and opportunity for other injuries or whatnot, actually grab the med kit that has everything else. But if you want to, there is room for that if you want to set it up like that. Have I used it? I've had it in my vehicle to include moving into other vehicles, very easy to swap over. Fortunately, I have not needed it. And yes, I do pretty much always carry a tourniquet on my person, but it's awesome to have one on this. I don't think anyone's ever been in a medical emergency and was like, man, I just wish I had less medical equipment with me right now. And this is whether I'm driving or, again, I have this set up as a right-handed person. It also is nice in that a passenger, should they need to, can reach over and drag this thing straight out. So keep in mind how you set this up depending on, I don't know, your paradigm ultimately. But yeah, something I hopefully won't need, but it makes it very easy to access, especially as a driver or even the passenger of a vehicle. And yeah, medical stuff's important. And as I mentioned, this being an older model I've had for a number of years now, the new one has that little elastic pocket for those nitrile gloves for said emergency with body fluids. Price-wise, about 40 bucks. Get them directly through V Development Group, made here in the US, which is awesome. And yeah, I think it's pretty handy. And hopefully, maybe carry a tourniquet on your person. Not a bad idea to have another one, and especially in a vehicle, whether it's you or your loved one driving, being able to have access to that, pretty cool. And as I mentioned, like on a personal level, pretty much always carry a tourniquet outside of like gym shorts. And so honestly, if I'm in the gym working out and I need a tourniquet, I'm gonna need to go find one. But in that interim, getting to the gym, i.e. driving when something absolutely can happen, still have access to a tourniquet, even if it's not necessarily on my person. So yeah, like having it. But if you're interested, there'll be a link down below. You can go check it out. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.